Hey, how you doing? I'm Steve. I'm going to explain you what is the targeted ketogenic diet.
Power levels 8,000.
The standard ketogenic diet, or SKD, is a low-carb, high-fat diet that restricts your daily carbohydrate intake to less than 30 to 50 grams. Because of that, your body will eventually shift into a state of nutritional ketosis, in which the metabolism has shifted from burning glucose as its primary fuel source into using ketones and fat for fuel. Targeted ketogenic diet, or TKD, is an advanced version of the standard ketogenic diet that promotes your physical performance exponentially. In a nutshell, you consume a very small dose of carbohydrates before or during your workout. This can give you a huge boost in performance.
It's over 9,000!
Now, how is this supposed to work? Is this even ketogenic? The answer is yes. When you're not training, you're still eating as if on a standard ketogenic diet. The only exception is that when you start to train hard, you strategically use a very small dose of carbs to boost your performance and promote muscle glycogen resynthesis afterwards. It doesn't mean that you'll be eating a full meal of carbohydrates. During very intense exercise, your body uses glycogen for fuel and decreases ketone production anyway. The carbs you use will be shuttled straight into muscle cells and you'll burn them immediately. After your workout, you'll re-establish ketosis.
Oh, it's a deep burn!
The targeted ketogenic diet is perfect for those who aren't just weekend warriors and want to maximize their physical performance. It's quite complex and there are still a lot of things that could go wrong. Carbs and fat are contradicting fuel sources. They can't coexist together. In the presence of both, the body will always prefer glucose because it's easier to digest and absorb. Eating both of them together in high amounts will lead to diabetes and disease. However, TKD can make them work together. Get the nitrous oxide boost of carbohydrates and the jet fuel effect of ketones. As a result, you create fusion power, which is used to generate energy in the sun.
Now, you might want to step back. Okay.
So how do you do it? First off, I wouldn't recommend anyone do it unless they've been on keto for at least a few months and become seriously fat adapted. Secondly, you want to do TKD only during your most intense workouts. Not jogging, cardio, spin class, aerobics, whatever.
We're gonna kick things up a notch, okay?
You have to do either high intensity interval training, resistance training, or some sort of an Ironman endurance.
You're on training! You're on training! Your turn.
I consume my TKD carbs in the form of a protein shake. 5 grams of dextrose powder, 15 to 25 grams of whey protein, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of MCT oil, 5 grams of creatine. Drink it right before or during your workout.
Fettuccine Alfredo. Time to carbo load.
Whether or not this approach is the right one for you depends on how much effort you're willing to put in. It's not for the faint of heart.
Help!
If you're interested in learning more about it, then check out my book called Target Keto. It's on Amazon.
I can do this all day.
You have to know exactly what you're doing to make this work.
Okay, let's take this up a notch.
So click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. Thanks for watching. My name is Seem. Stay targeted. Stay empowered.
It's over 9,000!
What, 9,000?
Can you do CrossFit with keto? How does the ketogenic diet affect your CrossFit performance? Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me this question, and usually they think that it's impossible, it's not possible to do it because you're simply burning so much glycogen and it's so high intensity for you to stay well adapted on keto. But in reality, there's not much difference. You can indeed do the ketogenic diet with CrossFit and things like that, even at high intensities. And yeah, I'm gonna share with you this clip from the Biohackers live show where we discuss these recent new studies done on CrossFit athletes on a keto diet and how does it affect their performance. So check it out.
Here are like 2 studies. The first one is released or published on 2017, a low carbohydrate ketogenic diet combined with 6 weeks of CrossFit training improves body composition and performance. So as you can see from this study, this has they had 27 non-elite CrossFit subjects. They were randomized into like control group or low carb ketogenic diet group. And the conclusions were that our data show that LCKD combined with 6 weeks of CrossFit training can lead to significant decreases in body fat percentage, fat mass, weight, and body mass index while maintaining lean body mass and improving performance on the right.
What do they mean by like improved performance?
Yeah, so there's, let's see from here. The performance was in the Metcons and also in the strength type of lifts. So there was no significant difference, a slightly better performance in the ketogenic diet group. And this other study showed also that it was a 12-week ketogenic diet while cross-training. There was but improves in body composition without negatively impacting muscle mass and or aerobic, anaerobic, or strength performance. So this study found out that there were no performance benefits, but there were no like disadvantages. But your body composition got like really significantly better. So
it was done like in non-elite athletes as well, like there were recreational.
Yeah, recreational athletes, non-elites. So this was like basically your basic CrossFitter. So and these kind of studies are coming like mushrooms in the rain. So
I think like when it comes to CrossFit, then if you are doing it on a keto diet, then you're simply burning through you're not burning that much glycogen on CrossFit either, because your body can, like I mentioned, your fatty acid molecules can be converted back into glucose, and those can be replenished with muscle glycogen. But with CrossFit, it may be simply that if you are doing it very intensely or if you're doing it very frequently, then it may lead to simply a situation where you're simply overtaxing your body. And I would imagine if you are like a non-elite athlete, then your body, you're not exercising that frequently, or you're not doing it that often, where you would actually need to replenish your muscle glycogen that fast. Because you don't even need to be eating anything at all for your muscle glycogen to refill itself. You can muscle glycogen tends to refill itself maybe within 24 to 36 hours, and it's back full again, simply because of your body fat being converted into glycogen.
Yeah, you're like right on point on this. If you're like elite athlete, then I wouldn't go just full ketogenic. I would go with a targeted ketogenic and implementing the carbohydrates around the workout. But quite rare of us are like elite athletes who train 2 to 3 times per day. But many CrossFitters actually are who are like training for competitions. So for those, I wouldn't go like just pure ketogenic, but targeted ketogenic diet and play with that.
In conclusion, I'm going to also say that, you don't need to be consuming a high amount of carbohydrates either if you're doing things like powerlifting, weightlifting, gymnastics, calisthenics, or even ordinary bodybuilding, because fatty acids can be converted back into glucose, and after you become keto adapted, then you're going to become actually more glycogen sparing. You're going to burn more fat at higher intensities as well, and even if you do deplete your glycogen, then you can use these different strategies of either the targeted or the cyclical keto diet to take advantage of a short little time window where you are indeed very insulin sensitive, and those carbohydrates can be used only for glycogen replenishment, not for fat storage. So that's one of the keys to not gaining fat and to actually improving your performance, or to gain muscle without getting fat on a very slow and consistent basis. So definitely check out the rest of the Biohackers Live show. Check out my books, Keto Bodybuilding, and also click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. My name is Siim. Stay ketonic, stay empowered.
The carbohydrate insulin model of obesity, the underlying theory that ketogenic diets have some sort of metabolic advantage has been experimentally falsified. The keto diet's proponents' own studies showed the exact opposite. Ketogenic diets actually put you at a metabolic disadvantage and slow the loss of body fat. How much does fat loss slow down on a low-carb diet? If you cut about 800 calories a day of carbohydrates from your diet, you lose 53 grams of body fat a day. But if you cut the same number of fat calories, you lose 89 grams a day. Same number of calories, but 9 pats of butter worth of extra fat melting off your body every day on a low-fat diet, compared to the low-carb diet. Same number of calories, but about 80% more fat loss when you cut down on fat instead of carbs. Here's the graph. Cut 800 calories from your diet by cutting carbs, and you do lose body fat, but cut out the same number of calories by cutting fat, and you lose even more body fat, 80% more body fat lost. The title of the study speaks for itself. Calorie for calorie, dietary fat restriction results in more body fat loss than carbohydrate restriction in people with obesity. But just looking at the bathroom scale, though, would mislead you into thinking the opposite. After 6 days on the low-carb diet, study subjects lost 4 pounds. On the low-fat diet, they lost less than 3. So step on the scale, and it looks like the low-carb diet wins hands down. So you can see why low-carb diets are so popular. But what was happening inside their bodies tells the real story. The low-carb group was losing mostly lean mass, water and protein. This loss of water weight helps explain why low-carb diets have been such cash cows for publishers over the last 150 years. That's their secret. As one weight loss expert noted, rapid water loss is the $33 billion diet gimmick. When you eat carbohydrates, your body bulks your muscles up with glycogen for quick energy. Eat a high-carbohydrate diet for 3 days, and you may add about 3 pounds of muscle mass onto your arms and legs. Those glycogen stores drain away, though, on a low-carb diet and pull water out with it. And the ketones also need to be flushed out of the kidneys, pulling out even more water. On the scale, that can manifest as 4 more pounds coming off within 10 days, but that all can be accounted for in water loss. The bottom line, keto diets just don't hold water. But the thrill of seeing the pounds come off so quickly on the scale keeps many coming back. When the diet fails, the dieters often blame themselves. But the intoxication of that initial rapid weight loss may tempt them back, like getting drunk again after forgetting how terrible the last hangover was. This has been dubbed the false hope syndrome. The diet industry thrives off a repeat customer, something low-carb diets were built for, given that rapid initial water loss. But what we care about is body fat. In 6 days, the low-fat diet extracted a total of 80% more fat from the body than the low-carb diet. That's not just one study. If you look at all the controlled feeding trials, where researchers compared low-carb diets to low-fat diets, swapping the same number of carb calories for fat calories, or vice versa, if a calorie is just a calorie, then all the studies should have crossed that zero line in the middle, and indeed, 6 did. One study showed more fat loss on a low-carb diet, but every other study favored the low-fat diet. More loss of body fat eating the same number of calories. Put all the studies together, and we're talking 16 grams more daily body fat loss on the low-fat diets. That's 4 more pats of butter melting off your body on a daily basis. Less fat in the mouth means less fat on the hips, even taking in the same number of calories.